So what is Sparks? Sparks is an acronym and an approach to real self-care that I developed in August 2023. It came about through, well, I suppose it evolved through my work in integrative self-care, non-sexy self-care, and in addressing the areas where I felt we were really lacking when it came to holistic, customizable, and realistic self-care. So Sparks is, as I said, it's an acronym, and it stands for what I think are 6 crucial domains when it comes to really looking after yourself, improving the relationship with yourself, and preventing burnout. So first up, we have the first S, which is S for safety and boundaries. And really at its core, it's about putting in boundaries, having those difficult conversations to put boundaries in place to increase our feelings of safety, whether that's emotional safety, physical safety, psychological safety. But if we don't feel safe, we can't truly be well. We can't be doing or working at our optimum or feeling at our best if we don't feel safe. So it's the non-sexy part is putting in those boundaries and having those difficult conversations to start with. But once they're in place and thinking about making decisions based around, will this increase or decrease my feelings of safety? P is for physical activity and body care. So it's looking after your body, the basics, making sure that you stay hydrated, making sure that you're eating regularly, you're not getting those dips in blood sugar that can make you feel pretty crappy, making sure you're getting enough sleep. So it's all that, again, pretty non-sexy stuff, but it's also being realistic about what you can physically achieve, what your physical goals might be. If you are someone with chronic health issues, for example, your physical goals and activities can't be, I want to run a marathon. Might be, but it's got to be realistic. So your physical goals might be, when I'm having a bad flare day, I get out of bed and I still have a shower. It might be as much as, if I'm having a bad flare day, I at least try and exercise my ankles. If they're the only thing that I can move that day, I'm still going to exercise my ankles or my wrists or I'm going to move my body in some way consciously that is going to give that signal to my brain that I'm still here, I'm still kicking. If you're someone who is really fit and healthy, then physical care for you is going to look really differently. And it's prioritizing that physical care, making sure you have room in it to look after what your body needs and also what it wants. So that's where some of that pampering can come into it. That's one aspect of self-care, is that massages or yoga or meditation or bubble baths. In my self-care approach, that forms one aspect of one of the 6 domains. It is not the whole picture, but it is an important part of the picture for some people if you like that and you want that to be part of your domain. Next up, we have A for achievement and accomplishment. And this is, again, setting realistic goals that you can actually achieve and then taking the time to notice the achievement and the accomplishment and feeling that sense of accomplishment, not minimizing what we have done just because we were able to do it. Just because I was able to achieve this and it wasn't particularly hard doesn't mean it still wasn't an achievement. It's something that someone else might have really struggled with. It happens to come a bit easier to me. Doesn't mean I don't get to say, hey, good job for doing that. And again, this has to be relative. So using the example of chronic health issues, if you're someone with a chronic health issue, what you can achieve on a bad day versus a good day could be very, very different. So it's important to sort of start your day setting yourself up with a realistic set of goals. And I recommend no more than 2 or 3 main goals, main things I want to achieve today, and they have to be within your control. So it can't be, I want to have a beautiful day and have no rain. You can't possibly control that. That can't be an achievement. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, that wasn't your fault either. It has to be something along the lines of those SMART goals. So specific and measurable and achievable and realistic and time limited. So it might be, I want to finish 3 of these videos today. That's within my control, that I can set up. It might be, I want to make sure I leave work within 10 minutes of my last client. make it specific, but make it something that's important and relevant to you. R is for relationships and connections. So we are social animals. We need connection, and we need to feel a sense of belonging in a positive sense. So I suppose you want to find your people. You want to feel a relationship and nurture and prioritize those relationships where you feel celebrated, not tolerated. So this might mean culling some less than healthy relationships in your life. It might mean just, prioritizing other relationships that have maybe been the proverbial non-squeaky wheel. And you're like, well, I know that I can pick up with this friend and it can be a year, but we pick up where we left off and we chat and everything's great. Why am I connecting with that person more? If things feel great when we connect once a year, why don't we connect once every 6 months or once every 3 months or whatever? But because they're like a low maintenance friend, I don't prioritize that. Other things take priority. So prioritizing the relationships and the connections that recharge you, that feel good. K is for kindness and nurturance. And this is one that trips up a lot of therapists in particular. We can be incredibly kind and nurturing and loving to our clients, but when it comes to treating ourselves with the same level of kindness and understanding, not so much. So it's really important to think of it in terms of however you can connect with that kindness in yourself. And it might be, to start off with, I've sometimes had clients who can't connect with sort of the vulnerable parts of themselves, can't connect or really struggle to show kindness to themselves. But if they imagine showing that kindness to their dog or their child or their grandchild, if you can connect with a vulnerable part, a part that needs that kindness, that needs that nurturance, that you can give that kindness and nurturance easily. And you start out small. So you start out showing kindness to those parts, almost practice run, until you get to the point where when, big Danielle or adult Danielle or healthy adult or whatever we want to call it, does something or messes something up or things don't go the way that I plan, I've been so good at directing kindness to that smaller vulnerable part that I've identified as Jersey or Sophie, that it starts to become a little bit easier to apply that to myself as well. And if you can do that, the rest of Sparks becomes a lot easier as well, because all of these domains integrate. It's very, very hard to feel safe if you can't feel kind to yourself, if you can't show yourself kindness. It's very hard to feel safe in the onslaught of a critical voice. The last one, spontaneity and entertainment. It's very hard to be spontaneous and enjoy yourself and let go if you don't feel safe. If that internal critical voice is going to have a go at you for looking silly or being silly, it's going to be hard also to really achieve and make strides in achievement and accomplishment if you don't allow that spontaneity, because spontaneity and trying new things is what leads to greater achievement and accomplishment. So those are the 6 domains: safety and boundaries, physical health and body care, achievement and accomplishment, relationships and connection, kindness and nurturance, and spontaneity and entertainment. And you want to be sort of ticking off something in each of those domains at least every day. If you need to concentrate on one of them at a time, if there's one area where you particularly struggle, concentrate on that for as long as you need to, and you will find that, like I said, it's integrated. It will start to have a trickle down effect into the other domains as well, even if you're just concentrating on one. There's no checklist to complete. All you have to do is look at those domains, be realistic with where you are sitting in each of those domains, and pick one area to concentrate on and see what happens. I hope that's useful to you. If you'd like to learn more about Sparks, please comment "I'm curious" below, and I'll send you a copy of my ebook on Sparks. There's also a Sparks webinar available on our website. So I hope you have a sparkly day. Oh, that's so bad. But I'm trying out a couple of catchphrases, so we'll see which one sticks. Sparkly day, I don't think is going to make it. Add a bit of sparkle to your day, maybe. Your future self will thank you. I'm liking that one. We'll see how we go. But whatever happens, well, I suppose I can say have a great day, or not. I'm not the boss of you. You do what feels right, what feels sparky. All right. Thanks. Bye.